don't want your mic on all the time, just click this, and it will turn on only when you speak. When you push the button.
Oh, okay. Right. What? Turn this off.
Just click it off.
Turn it off or on? And then it only works.
It's time 7:02 p.m. and I'm going to call this evening's April 17th, 2017 meeting to order. Department of Sunshine Law, this meeting was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January 5th, 2017. Please join me in the pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome all the guests this evening. Thank you all for coming out. Surely you didn't have to be here. It's a beautiful evening. So we'll try to dispense with your business as diligently as soon as we possibly can. Would you please join me in a moment of silence? And as we do, I would like to just dedicate that moment to our nation and also a life that was lost senselessly, and may that person be found sooner as opposed to later so that no other life can be harmed. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, roll call, please.
Committeeman Lopez.
Present.
Committeewoman Smith-Hartman.
Present.
Committeewoman Talisa.
Present.
Committeeman Wisniewski.
Here.
Mayor Daniels.
Here. I'd like a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith-Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Thank you. Regular meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2017. What say you?
So moved.
Any discussion? There being none, roll call.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith-Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Closed session meeting minutes for April 3rd, 2017.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. There being none, roll call.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith-Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Thank you. Monthly reports and communications are posted on the bulletin board in the foyer. Moving right along, scheduled appointments, there are none. At this time, I would like to open the meeting to the public for comment on agenda items. We're open.
Hi, Gary Rivarian,
Can you spell your last name?
Berian. It's 138 Wednesday. This is on item 17, letter A. And in the packet that was put up on the web, I believe it should start on page 42. So it's the correspondence to Judge Andrusini from Amy Chack.
Do you have that in front of you?
It's a two-page letter.
Okay.
Ms. Chack makes a reference in the letter to a, quote, completed AOC required in-session visitation form, which I believe she may have tried to attach. I don't know if that was inadvertently left off the correspondence packet or it's been redacted for some reason.
The actual findings through the mayor, if I can. The actual findings.
Yeah.
Is it?
Correct.
I did also notice that it wasn't attached, but I'm sure we have it on file, and maybe we can append that to the agenda packet that's already online. I'm sure we'll do that during the minutes. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Closed public comment. Thank you. Moving right along. Old business, KME ladder truck. There's correspondence here from our solicitor, Mr. Al Marmero. Would the liaison like to speak to that? Or is it a dead issue?
No, it's not a dead issue. What the letter does, and the solicitor could correct me if I miscommunicate any part of this, we expressed that we had still some underlying concerns about the truck. There's about 27 pages worth of work that has been done, service to the truck. KME found it good to work with the township, break down the truck or strip it down, rebuild it again, replace a lot of those parts. Again, roughly 27 pages worth of work. We still felt a concern about should another problem reoccur regarding the truck, who's going to be on the hook for that? KME, as part of their work to strip the truck and rebuild it and replace parts, had offered another 2 years, right? 2 years? Another 2 years in warranty at no cost to the township, and an opportunity for the township to extend that 2-year warranty for, I believe, another additional 2 years of warranty. A generous and kind offer. So what the solicitor did was acknowledge their, well, I don't think it was an offer, I think they gave it, acknowledging the warranty that has been extended, but also reiterating the committee's concerns about what's going to happen after the new 2-year warranty. We feel that 2 years is just not enough. So that letter has been prepared, approved by the committee, and I believe it's on its way, or it's already been sent to KME.
It's pending your approval this evening.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If it's approved of, it will be seconded.
So that was it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lopez, for that report. Chief, do you have anything you'd like to add? No? Okay, thank you. Moving right along to new business, police report. Senator Dan? No? Okay, thank you for being here tonight. EMS report? Okay, thank you.
If I can, Mr. Mayor, real quick, as liaison to the emergency services and the fire department, I just want to highlight their annual report that was published on the township website. It was also included in your agenda packets. For those of you that checked it out online, it's really a worthy read if you have the time, and we commend the chief for doing a great job in compiling that report and publishing it.
Absolutely, thank you. Public Works report, Mr. Manning?
I apologize for the late report. In addition to that, it's in the report with CDC cars, food tractors, food power, for all the regulations and tickets. They sent out the manufacturer reps to hands-on training for all the employees. They were here for the full day. Each employee will spend another 8 hours by themselves, out with me on the tractor. Actual hands-on, before the clears are actually operating.
Okay, thank you. Moving right along, proposed West Hampton Township Spring Cleanup Day is May 6th. While it says here, the narrative reads, proposed West Hampton Township, we had a local church that has a day of service that is officially on May 6th. They reached out to me and extended an offer that if we in fact could find some areas in town that might need service cleanup, picking up bottles, light construction, I don't think any painting, but just beautify and clean up, they would be more than willing to help. I think that what we're going to do is identify 2 out of an abundance of caution. We thought that it was best that this body memorialize it and give it its blessing, and we move forward. However, a resident previously had brought to our attention that we should probably do some sort of community-wide cleanup day, which probably takes just a little bit more planning. We still would like to do that. Nevertheless, this will be sooner as opposed to later, and we will continue to work, perhaps through our Clean Communities grant, to see that happen in the future. So, sure. Go ahead.
I think it's a very good idea. However, my concern is liability. So before we get involved in any type of cleanup, I would like to talk to the JIF as far as insurance coverage. The concern is you have, I think you said the Kingdom Church said they're willing to come out. how do we know how many people there are? Children, and you're talking about cleaning bottles. It's opening a case for liability. So I will not go along with it until we actually make sure we have certificate of insurance and some kind of coverage and know what people would be doing this. So it would have to be very organized.
Mrs.
Can I just shed a little light on that?
Sure.
We had reached out to the JIF, and we don't need to purchase additional coverage, but we only have coverage for 15 people, no more than that. And like you said, I need to know their ages. So,
If I can't just piggyback.
I would like to have all the information before I agree to anything.
Just for the edification of everyone on the dais and also for the residents that are here in attendance and also those that are live streaming, just in case anybody from the Kingdom Church is viewing, as a church, an independent entity, a 501c3 organization, they also should have their own insurance, and normally the churches would have on file a certificate of insurance. And should a church want to do a cleanup day on their own accord and volunteering to do so, and we publish the date of the community cleanup, the solicitor could correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the township would be held liable for a volunteer group or church to do any cleanup throughout the town on their own accord, and we just are advertising the date, or we don't even need to advertise it, right? Because they're just doing it out of their own goodwill, and we're not recruiting residents to join that particular movement. It's their own activity.
Strictly a church event, as long as they're covered. If they're covered on township property, we just want to see their certificate of insurance and make sure that they're covered. If it's going to be a township-sponsored event, I think we want to do what Marion described, using the JIF coverage.
As long as we have the documentation
Correct.
prior to the event.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're not going to memorialize that tonight anyway. So, Marion, it was just a conversation?
I was supposed to reach out to Maria asked me to reach out to the pastor tomorrow, so I'll tell him we're going to wait on it a little bit.
Okay.
Is that what you want me to do?
Well, yeah, I think that we do not have unanimity in terms, and there might be some issues from a legal perspective, and obviously, I'd rather proceed more judiciously than not, as to not cause any liability to the township. However, I'm also reminded that when good stewards of the community want to come forward and say that they would like to be more than ecumenical than just on Sunday or Wednesday night, that we should have some sort of ability to outreach.
Mr. Does the church already have this scheduled for May 6th?
Well, they have something scheduled in town.
I don't see any reason why the church could.
Yeah, they shouldn't
As
stop.
long as they provide a certificate of insurance.
I'm going to call them tomorrow.
There shouldn't be any harm.
And just a point of clarification, Mr. Solicitor, the church has their, so for all intents and purposes, this event is just a public information, what's the correct,
PR.
no, not PR, a public announcement, right? A public service announcement, PSA. That's the only reason why this is on the agenda, just a PSA. We have a local partner, a local nonprofit organization that's going to be doing some community cleaning. If I wanted to, for all intents and purposes, clean up Springside Road because I see it's dirty with my son and my children and one of them get cut, you know, I'm doing so at my own risk. I don't think I would need to present a certificate of insurance to the township that I'm going to be volunteering to clean up my community on Earth Day, right, which is coming up. So are we kind of the township overstepping our boundaries with a religious entity?
Well, for letting them come on township-owned property to do cleanup, like I said, all we would see is at least a certificate of insurance just to know that they're covered. You know, if someone gets hurt on township property, we would hope they wouldn't bring a claim, but legally they have the ability to do so. They may get dismissed, but you would still have to defend it. So, I mean, as long as these people are volunteers for the church and not volunteers for the township, I think just simply providing Marion and Maria with a certificate of insurance that the church has insurance that these people can go through.
Okay.
And would happen, you're fine. So there's really no need. If they have it scheduled for the 6th already, I don't see any reason why you would need to postpone it, as long as they provide insurance.
Yeah, I agree.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, all right, thank you.
I'll call them then tomorrow and get the certificate and find out a little more details.
Yeah.
And we have a meeting before then anyway. I think our first committee meeting is May 1st anyway, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
You'll-
that's true.
So you'll know before then anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, just show me the document.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And I guess for the public certification, Earth Day is this Saturday, April 22nd. Thank you. Moving right along, resolutions. Resolution A, Resolution 73-17, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through 4/13/2017. What say you?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 74-17, in support of participation in the law enforcement support, in support of participation in the Law Enforcement Support Office 1033 program. This resolution pledges the support of West Hampton Township for participation in the program to obtain military surplus equipment such as digital cameras, radios, personnel equipment, and computer services, etc., at a greatly reduced cost. What say you?
I make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just, not really a discussion, just more of a point of information. The lieutenant, you guys normally give us a heads up what you guys are bidding for and what you're going after before we go, right? For the equipment?
For the most part, some things are time sensitive, they need to be done right away, some small things, but for example, we've already gotten some cameras off there, and the officers are using as we speak, so I'll need to speak.
I guess my main concern is you hear a lot of the militarization of local police departments. That's not our goal, and it's never been our goal. So if they're large, what can be considered large military equipment, we normally would get a heads up on that, right?
Before we would purchase anything, before we put in for anything, we would notify.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes, thank you. Moving right along to ordinances. Ordinance 3-2017. This is a bond ordinance, first reading. This bond ordinance is in the amount of $465,000 with a down payment of $23,250 and will provide for the purchase of various capital equipment and the completion of various capital improvements, such as improvements and renovations to the township firehouse, technology upgrades to the police department, security improvements to the municipal building, and a completion of a township road construction program. This is a first reading. What say you?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Just another point of clarification. I don't know if Marion can help us or the chief can help us. The 190-something K line item, that's for the SCBA. So I know some residents may be questioning what renovations of what firehouse and what's that about. It's for the SCBA air packs that ours are depleted already, and they can't be recertified. We need to purchase new ones. So I just wanted to share with you all. There's no renovations going on or anything.
Then I think we should change the wording on it.
I'm okay with that too. Would that compromise the purchasing capability? Al, do you know? It shouldn't, right? Yeah.
Unless there's a timing issue, though, there's a timing issue with the ordinance itself.
Well, no, can you think of another word that we could use in place of it? Because they're not renovations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it says in the bond ordinance. I didn't write it. It came from our council.
Because right away, you look at it and you're thinking, what are we doing to the firehouse when it's...
Yeah, that was my idea.
Well, I mean, it's the first reading of an ordinance, so I mean, as long as you're not changing the substance of the ordinance or making any drastic changes, you can make changes between first and second reading. If you're comfortable with what you're hearing this evening, you can vote to adopt this via first reading, but then have the bond council, this is directed by bond council, not by me. You would have the bond council then make that change to the ordinance.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so basically we can have it changed to something like safety apparatus, fire equipment.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so if someone were to adopt this evening, then you would make a motion to adopt it on first reading.
With the modifications.
Yeah, with that modification, we could state the modification we want on the record, and then we'll have bond council prepare one with that revision in it for your second reading and public hearing.
Great, that's it.
So I'll motion Well, we already had a second, right, to my first motion? Did we have?
Now that we revised it, we want a new motion.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion that we adopt this ordinance under first reading, amending the language to remove renovations of the firehouse just to the purchasing of fire safety equipment.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the amended motion? No. Okay. All right, roll call on the amended motion.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
With modification.
Daniels.
Yes. Okay, so now,
But I'm here, we'll let Bob know, so we change that term to purchase of fire safety equipment.
Mr. Wisniewski really didn't cast his vote.
okay, so,
Yes.
okay. So now at this time, I would like to move ordinance 3-2017, which is the main motion. You understand what we did?
Yep. Motion.
All right. So we already had a previous movement, and we had a second. Any discussion on the main motion? No? Roll call.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes, thank you. I'm almost inclined to explain what we just did to the public. What we just did basically was there were two separate motions. There was the original motion that was bond 33-2017. There was some discussion that really it was not as clean, the language was not as clean as it possibly could have been and should have been. As such, the Deputy Mayor Lopez offered an amending motion, writing that technical information in which, it was your concern, but he moved the motion. The Deputy Mayor moved your concern.
Right.
He moved the motion. As such, the amended motion became the proceeding or most important motion, if you will. And once we dispense to that, we could go back to the primary motion. So I just wanted to explain that for the edification of the public. Thank you. Let's see here. Correspondence. We dealt with that earlier. Municipal court is in session, visitation. We will have the clerk upload the missing information. We would like to thank our resident for bringing that to our attention. Local planning services under correspondence. No cost assistance to municipalities for planning, economic development strategies, master plan elements, and redevelopment. This is something that I've had an opportunity to review to the extent that I can discuss it with my colleagues up here. And Maria, I think it's something that if West Hampton Township, let me see, what's the word I'm looking for, is eligible for, I think that we probably should look to pursue that as master plan, planning, redevelopment, economic development strategies. All of those are things that could get costly to local communities, and if we can have those things afforded to us by way of this offer, I think we should look at it. Moving right along, does anyone else have any correspondence? Some dates to remember. 4/18/17 tomorrow is the Mass for the Fallen Police Officers at St. Mary's Cathedral in Trenton. LT, you have anything you want to add on that?
I don't know if first of all, anyone going, I looked at the schedule tomorrow, we're a little short again, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to get anybody involved there. But there is a planned event May 17th at the 20 Captain Drive, up here for fallen officers.
Right.
There's more information on that.
Absolutely, thank you, and I'm sure that we will be in full force there. That's something that Ms. Curran, we usually see each other there. It's a day event and a later evening event for EMS and first responders, right? Okay, thank you. This Wednesday, 4/19/17, clothing drive to raise funds for senior gathering of West Hampton. Drop off gently used clothes, shoes, bedding, purses, coats, toys, and books at the Recreation Department. Tax receipts will be available. This will be drop off from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Next week, 4/24/2017, the West Hampton PTO fundraiser will be at Sonic on Route 38. That will be from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And on May 7th, 2017, this is a county shredding event, Burlington County Resource Recovery Complex. It's in Florence from 9 to 1. Is the 7th on a Sunday? It's a Sunday morning. Do we have any knowledge why perhaps the county, and I'm not calling the county out, so please tell my friends over there at the freeholder board that I'm not calling them out, but why is that done on a Sunday as opposed to a Saturday? Do we know? Every Sunday? Every month it's on a Sunday morning? Okay, all right. Okay. That's a Monday?
Mother's not the following.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I never.
You got that locked in early, don't you?
Yeah.
When is
Okay.
it, the following week?
He said it's the
Following
following,
week,
yeah.
14th?
Mother's Day is the 14th. Okay. All right, thank you. At this time, I'm going to open up the meeting to the public for comment pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12A. Public comment is limited to 1 3-minute comment period per person. We're open.
Hi again. Gary Barbarian, 138 Winstead. The New Jersey League of Municipalities, they published a letter on their website dated February 22nd. I don't know if you all had a chance to see that. It's about the municipal public defender mandate, and sort of their thesis is that if the acting director of the AOC kind of insists on the municipal public defender sort of representing the indigents on that second hearing, that could have a cost impact to the taxpayers. I'm just wondering if you had seen that, and what's your position on that? If you want to
No,
express that now, later. I know we're talking about the budget on the first, so that's the only reason I'm bringing them up.
All right. As a liaison, I would be concerned about that, and I'm glad you brought that to my attention. It's something that I will reach out to Susan Graybert, our court administrator, tomorrow to find out where we stand at that. Obviously, any impact that could have, something like that could have an impact on our bottom line budget, that's not an encumbered line item, or, I mean, at what point does the cost become catastrophic to small-town municipalities like ours, whose budgets are already bare bones as it is, and we like to think responsible.
Yeah, and I don't know if the other townships that support, the port would have to be involved in that as well, so maybe you could coordinate with Hainsport and East Hampton
Right.
if it's feasible.
Do we know, to the extent that our solicitor or perhaps our Lieutenant Ed can answer, does this have anything to do with bail reform?
Probably, but that's the letter specifies.
It does say it in here. They believe it is linked to bail reform as a collateral consequence of the bail reform issue. And I know that the league is having a webinar to specifically talk about it for the municipality. I think the date is coming up, either it's this week or next week, so I don't know.
Okay.
If you're a member of that, maybe.
Okay. If you should get that date in at the end of this meeting, perhaps you can share it with me, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Ms. Curran? Sure.
Hi, Janet Curran, 123 Main Street.
Welcome.
Hi, good evening. Two questions I wanted to, actually only one question, and then hold that answer until I finish with my second thing. Did Mayor Andre, did you hear any response from the Burlington County freeholders? I don't get to those meetings like I used to, of what their plans are for Roland's property. I mean, it's just sitting there, and it's very sad. Did they contact any of the West Hampton administrators or administrator, or, what's happening?
Right. To answer your question, I do not.
Stop that clock.
Yeah, I do not know, but what I will do is, perhaps one of my colleagues may have a more definitive answer, or one of our professionals, but to that extent, I'll reach out to the freeholder director and perhaps Mary Pat Robbie, whose office, I believe, oversaw that, and last time I talked to her was the first fire, and there were some conversations about what was going to happen with it, and so that was first fire. When there was some chance of recovery, second fire, it's obviously, we know where it's at, where it stands. So I'll get back to you. Have an answer for you.
But I do plan on going to a freeholders meeting before summer when everything gets very quiet. And I just wanted to say one more thing. A newspaper, West Hampton hit the newspapers about front page 3 different times in the past week. And the one thing that it's kind of disturbing to me is a lawsuit. And I really shouldn't, this is how I feel. When this all happened, it was not, there were residents that were totally against what was happening. The officials are elected to the township to work with the people. The people spoke out against it, and then there were some people that spoke for it. When we had to have a chief step down, a fire department, the greatest fire department in my book, and the EMTs and the fire police did a fantastic job. They were worth every cent they made. They knew everything. We had a filmmaker come and do a movie on our department. It was awesome to read and see it in the newspaper. So the reason I'm saying that is that when you come into office and we have somebody that is working here for 10, 15 years, and they're doing their job and they're doing it right, it should be that way. It should stay that way. Rather, whatever party that you are with, there should be no changes, because if that person's doing their job and they're doing a high efficiency job and they know everything they're doing, and the stories that I could tell you about our fire department for many years, I think it was wrong, and I know it's going to happen, but again, it's officials that made some decisions that should not have been made, and I just hope in the future that you look at people that have the experience and the knowledge to keep their position and not be embarrassed and not having any disrespect for what happened, but it's a feeling that I have. It should never, never happen again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Carr. Any other comments? Any other public comment? Closed public comment. Thank you. Thank you all for your comments. At this time, comments from department heads and professionals. Now, I always look back there, so someone at least needs to sit in place for fire marshal, not back there. Chief, got anything?
I have to add, as you remember, on May 6th, we're participating in a program called Calming Sirens. It's going to be at Township County College for special needs population for children to come and see fire trucks, police cars, and such in an environment that is safe for them to participate in. So that is May 6th.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
And what is it called, Connie?
Right. This is for children who are on the spectrum. This is for children that are on the spectrum, autistic spectrum, and
That's really great.
to segue from this month being Autism Awareness Month. We thank you for being a part of that. OEM? I'd like to thank you for having invited me to your meeting with all of the stakeholders in our community. I think that at least I found it very relevant and timely, considering that later on that day we would have a shooting in California. It's one of those things that you can never plan for. I'm just glad that we have some of the best first responders here in West Hampton Township who diligently and continually plan every day, have some of the best practices and tactics, and continue to do the great work that you do. We have every full faith and credit in what you do. Thank you. Lieutenant?
Mayor, the other thing I wanted to bring up is the road construction on Woodland Road is progressing slowly, surely. We're in the second phase of the road construction closure. Right now, it's closed between Woodpecker and Jacksonville Road. There's detours set up, kind of at Nichols McCoy So, right now it's still Monday through Friday, sometimes between hours of 8 and 6. It could be done earlier with the weather, or depending on where they are during the day on that specific.
Okay.
So thank the residents and the passerbyers for being patient with us.
Thank you. And Lieutenant, and can you please relay to Chief Otto and also to Patrolman Wealthy our extreme gratitude for his letter and congratulations letter of recognition from the Township of East Hampton for his effect on a high-risk stop recently. West Hampton continually sets the bar and make things happen, and we just want him to know that we realize that he was part of that.
I'll relay those.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Meehan? No snow? No. Where? Okay, thank you. Celeste, anything? No? Okay. Marion?
I don't have anything.
Okay, you right along? Good? Okay, all right, by extension, sir, anything? Not tonight? Okay. Our colleagues?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Keep up the good work. On a personal note, our rec program is pretty good. And I chose last week to donate 3 full-day summer camps. I spoke to Todd. I'm going to buy 3 gift certificates. Earlier today, I found out that Local 172, my union, my business manager, said that election I'm doing, he's going to match it. So now there's going to be 6 of them. So if anybody knows any students, West Hampton residents preferably that can benefit from it, they can send me an email on the Township website.
Awesome.
On that note, I'd just like to mention that our very own Maureen Malecki, who is the guidance counselor for West Hampton Middle School, was named Burlington County Counselor of the Year. And that is, I wish you were here tonight. I think we need a proclamation for Maureen.
I was just there. We'll see to it. Anything else?
That's it.
That was it? Okay.
Last Saturday, we had our Easter egg hunt, and it's becoming more and more popular. The children are loving it. We start out, we have different age groups, and we start out with the little ones, ages 1 through 3. They were so excited, and the parents were excited, that they were here before it even started. It was supposed to start at 9:30. We had strollers and little buggies and carts at before 9 o'clock. And it is just so enjoyable. It was a beautiful day. We had over 200 children, and we hid about 2,200 eggs. And I don't know if the parents enjoyed it more or the children, but, thank you for coming out, and, I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Thank you. Deanne?
I just want to always thank the residents for coming out. I want to draw attention to something that was included in everybody's agenda packet. There were senior citizens that were concerned about utility discounts for different utilities that we have. Maria has done a really thorough job in getting the seniors that were concerned about utility discounts an answer to those questions and concerns. They have been published on the website. They're in the agenda packets as well. And I just want to draw everyone's attention to Willingboro MUA is having a special forum on April the 19th on how to ensure cost savings with regards to your water and sewage, things that you can be doing in your home. So I just want to make sure, since the date is coming up really close, that everyone is drawn, those that are receiving services from the Willingboro MUA, and that's happening April 19th. So please check out the agenda packet. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Real quickly, I'd like to thank or commend Committeeman Wisniewski on your effort to make sure that our programs remain viable for those who may find themselves unable to take part of them. And this Saturday, I had an opportunity to actually go down to our fields and witness the flag football. It was the sign-ups for flag football, and it was absolutely great because flag football allowed those who would normally like to play football, but not everybody is built for the pads and all of that other full contact. But I saw boys and I saw girls down there, and I mean, they were going through their drills, running as hard as they possibly can. And I think that in the essence of really hard sports, that's what recreation programs are all about. That's what we cultivate. That's what we do down here. And later on that day, it just started playing in my head, like, are we ready for some football? Because, you know, we did the real hard, you know, gritty pads and everything else, football. I saw some spectacular football. The fullness thereof of our fields being totally utilized. One of the things that I asked Todd if he could produce for us, we have some 60, 70 programs that are generally run down there with many different names associated with it. I'm proud to report that of all of that, some 83% of those listed below have West Hampton residents who participate. So when we ask the question, is there a necessary return on investment, at least not necessarily from an economic standpoint, but from a cultivation of our community, providing that center of space, quality of life, programming, and the answer is absolutely yes. So I know at some point we'll probably have this posted, but these are all of the programs that we run down the field. Todd is a wizard when it comes to space utilization in terms of scheduling everyone their time down there. And also like to thank Mike Meenan and his crew, his staff, who make sure that those fields are resplendent in every detail. I don't think I have anything else. Sure, should we go to 8? Maybe open up the public comment again? Where okay?
We need to, I'm going to make the motion to adjourn into executive session, so I can recap you on
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to need that? Okay. Oh, no getting out here early? Okay.
No, well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
we'll be quick.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
So I'm motioning to return into executive session.
Can I get a
Nothing being.
Okay, there will be no additional or extended business after executive session. We'll just come back in and go out. Okay, thank you. That's our second?
I'll second.
Okay, legally, we have a second from Committeeman Wisniewski.
Mr. Wisniewski, Committeeman Wisniewski.
John. We are adjourned. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out.
We're not adjourned.
I thought we said we weren't going to have them come back in.
And she's recording, so the camera system's picking up, correct?
Yes, it is.
Camera system?
Yes, the camera's on. Litigation, discussion.
Okay, we're now back on the record. We're now back on the record. The time now is 8:05 p.m. We went into executive session to discuss litigation. I will now entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.